Hello, beautiful souls, and happy full moon. This is an energy activation and a guided meditation where I channel the light codes, the high vibrational frequencies of this full moon to assist you in the ways that you most need. That's in alignment with that which you're ready to release, transmute, heal, that which you are ready to experience, embody, create. This full moon is centered around identity. It is the opportunity, being the last full moon of this year, of this completion year, as we talked about in the December activation. So if you haven't checked that out, that may be of benefit if what we go through in this session really resonates. So this has been a completion year, and this full moon is a completion of an old identity, one that you've already outgrown, but is still lingering within your nervous system, within your beliefs, these old versions of self who have really dictated your perceptions, your actions up until now. And this is not said through shame ever, it's said through awareness. Those old systems within you are ready to be transmuted, as this new identity has already been birthed energetically. And in this new identity, you have the power of choice. There is magic, there is infinite potential, untapped potential that is within you now and ready to be experienced, but it is very new. It is a completely new version of self than we have ever experienced on this human journey up until this point, and you're ready. I want to give an analogy of what I was given to explain what has been happening and what is happening now. Up until this point on our journeys, we were heavily guided by spirit. We were given a lot of angel signs and messages, and there was a lot of points where we didn't know what we should do when we surrendered, and there was divine intervention, and there was a lot of releasing and a lot of learning and uncovering more and more of this wisdom and truth, and letting go more and more of that which was built from illusion and distortion. And we needed a lot of assistance. And now, through our journeys, we have birthed the version of us who is more empowered and more aligned with our higher self, with Source Creator, than ever before. So the analogy that they gave me to explain this was the first time that you let a child stay home alone. You're not going to let a 3-year-old stay home alone because they have not yet built the skills to be able to do so safely. That is where we were on our journey. We were learning. We were letting go of all of those old programs based in illusion that dictated how we saw ourselves, dictated our belief systems, that were based in separation, based in victimhood or being disempowered, feelings of, the word I'm getting is feelings of being controlled and not feeling like we had control or power. And whenever I say power, this is the power that is being birthed and ignited now, that's divine power. It's not the distortion, old paradigm, ego power, right? So I just want to differentiate between those two. So we were, as that child who needed a lot of guidance, we needed a lot of spirit coming in and saying, let me show you the truth. Let me help you release that which is not yours to carry, that which is not yours to identify with, right? Spirit has been guiding us through, let's say, those early years of childhood. And now we are at the point where we are ready, metaphorically, to be the child that can, or the adult, the young adult, however you, whatever resonates, that can stay home alone because we have already built those skills. So that's the metaphor they're giving me. In terms of us now being able to choose that which we want and create it, us making more and more of the decisions because we're acting from this higher self, this higher wisdom, this clearer perception, we are now given the keys to the car, essentially. And so we must let go of any of the beliefs and perceptions that are still tied to those old versions of self, right? It's like if we're a 16-year-old, but still part of us is identifying as a 5-year-old. And this is all metaphorical, right? This is just used as a metaphor. And I intend that it is making sense. So in this, you are ready to have so much more freedom, more power, more of those magical abilities embodied. I'm getting the message pathways to wealth, specifically, or abundance, or freedom, those energies that came through in the December activation, right? You're ready. And so you just need to see that you're ready and believe it. And much of the session will be assisting you in lovingly releasing the old version of self who got you here and grounding in to this fully empowered, ascended, enlightened is another word I'm getting, version of self. Not based on what the ego thinks that should look like, but based on what your soul already knows to be true. All right, so let's begin the session. If you're open and receptive to receive these energy activations for your highest and best good and that which you're ready for, please say yes in your mind's eye or out loud. And I invite you, as I take a moment to connect energetically, to close your eyes if you can, and allow yourself to receive everything that you need in these activations. Treating this as your time, as if you made an appointment with an energy healer and you are relaxing, allowing yourself to receive this assistance. And take a moment to, before we set any intentions, to tune in to yourself and do a bit of a self-evaluation. Where are you right now? What is it that you are ready to let go of? What is it that you need? What do you feel you're ready for? Maybe you're in a bit of a void. Just take a moment and ask yourself, right now in this moment, during this full moon, what's going on with me? Where am I? If you can look forward energetically, what is here for you? What is waiting to be experienced, expressed, embodied? You don't have to know the answers. I invite you just to open up. what timelines, what pathways, what energies of expansion, freedom, abundance, love, self-love, fulfillment. The next level is the word I'm getting. Just opening up what is here for me and just feeling into that energy. It may come as an energetic download. It may come very consciously. You may feel it in your body. Opening up to that expansive pathway that is presenting to you now. And now looking behind and observing your journey within your mind now, all the ways that you've persevered. Back to that example in the beginning, going from that metaphorical baby to where you are now, ready for this power, this expansion, this fulfillment. Just taking a bit of a look back, acknowledging your perseverance, how you traveled through the unknown, traversed the obstacles, grown, released, evolved, matured. And I invite you now, if you have any personal intentions for this full moon, that which you're ready to release and heal, that which you're ready to experience, embody, I invite you to set those now. Deep breath in, just allowing all this energy to integrate. Long, slow exhale. Imagining now that you are in a doorway. The doorway is a bit of a void state. You are not in one place or the other. You are in the in-between. And as you stand in this doorway, once again, you look ahead in front of you. And you are presented with this version who you have already become. And just take a moment to meet this version, experience this energy. Who are you ready to be next? How does this version of you think and feel? What kind of life are they living? How are their relationships to themselves first and foremost? What types of relationships do they have in their lives? How do they approach life? And you are still standing in this doorway, and you look behind you now and you see that past version of self, made up of all those stories, the experiences, and many limitations, many ingrained patterns that are not of the true you and not of this new version of self. With unconditional love, just looking behind at this old version of self who has gotten you here and seeing them in their totality, all of their strength and all of their sorrow and everything that they've gone through, how they see themselves, how they see the world. Just take a moment to observe this now, that old version of self. And your energy is in that void state, recognizing that you already are this new version and are still carrying that old version with you. When you bring into your mind and into your body that new version of self, being them now, that perspective, that lifestyle, bring that into your body, into your mind, feeling it. What does that old version think about that? For example, if this new version is infinitely wealthy, what does that old version think? I can never be that. That's not me. Just bring that in. Just bring in the contrast. Observe it. And now we are going to integrate and let go of those old stories, that old version, without leaving any parts of you behind, and embody the new. Turn to that old version of self and hold compassion for what they are speaking, what they are saying. If they are saying, I'm not this person, I'm not ready, I'm not worthy, whatever it is, speak to them for every concern that they bring up and say, I'm so sorry that you feel you are not worthy. I'm so sorry that you are not worthy. I'm so sorry that you will never be this version. We're speaking to them where they're at through love and compassion to transmute this, right? We're not reinforcing it. We're not manifesting any more of this old energy, but rather you are acknowledging how they feel. So turning now to that old version of self and everything that they bring up, saying to them, I am so sorry. You do not feel worthy of this. Or I am so sorry that, and then just fill in everything that they're bringing up. You can acknowledge their journey. I'm so sorry you had to go through everything you went through. I'm so sorry for how hard you had to fight, how much lack you experienced, your suffering. And you acknowledge that this old version of self was you, but all these stories that you defined yourself by were not. The beliefs were not you. The experiences were reflections of old energies, narratives, and you do not have to live by them anymore. And you do not have to abandon any part of yourself to embody and embrace the new version. You look forward now at that new version of self, and I invite you to repeat, I open to the possibility. I open to the possibility that I can be this version of self now. I open to the possibility that I am this version of self now. I open to the possibility that I can think as this new version thinks. I open to the possibility that I can live as this new version lives. I open to the possibility that I can be this and live this now. Through ease, through flow. I open to the possibility that this is the truer version of me. I open to the possibility that I can integrate all past versions of me while releasing the old stories and narratives that they held that are not of this new version. Just breathing in that energy. And feeling that old version of self dropping those stories, experiencing this healing through grace, through the power of this full moon, integrating with you in this doorway. Divine healing, divine release, sending those old stories and experiences and narratives and beliefs to the full moon. as this new version of self walks into that doorway, molds into you, awakens within you fully now. Breathe into this, and however you experience it is valid and perfect. As you move through this doorway now into the other side, I'm going to send some energy to integrate this into your nervous system. We're not grounding quite yet, but this is a nervous system recalibration. Very often our energy can be ready, but our nervous system, when it does not feel ready, can unintentionally block us from that which our soul is ready for. You went through this process energetically, and now we are integrating it into your physicality. And gently, safely regulating your nervous system to this new version of self, these new beliefs, perceptions, outlooks. And for this process, there's nothing for you to do. I invite you to come into stillness and simply receive. While keeping your breath slow, relaxed, steady. And we're asking that this full moon in Gemini continues to help this integrate and regulate in your nervous system, your physical form, this union as we spoke about in the beginning. As we move into one final activation, and that is a balance. A balance of divinely guided action that does not come from tiredness, defensiveness, pushing through, forcing. We're being brought back to the acknowledgement of all the perseverance. It may have felt like a battle or a fight at times, but we're asking the energy of this full moon releases that energy. It releases you from that pattern, from that story. Smoothing out your journey. Not having to push so hard to fight, but allowing the divine intelligence of this new version of self to guide you into inspired action, balanced with rest and receivership, balanced with you making choices based on what you want, and allowing all to flow from that energy and that intention. This is a new way of being, and we are activating all of this within you now in alignment with that which you are ready for, that which is most aligned with you. And finally, we're opening to an expansive, lighter energy as we move forth from this session through the rest of the month into next year. Opening to this. I'm getting very strongly, this has been a breakthrough energy. And I'm feeling a lot of lightness, like it's just getting more and more light. More and more freedom. Releasing that heaviness and the burdens from your shoulders, sending that to the full moon. Any remnants of the journey up until this point that you're still carrying that may be weighing you down, sending it to the full moon. Opening to lightness, freshness. So beautiful. Deep breath in, long exhale. As I'm now sending grounding energy, grounding everything that we did into your body, into the here and now. Grounding you back into this time and space. Also activating your root chakra to this new version of self, this new energy. As you were growing deep, strong roots into Mother Earth. Some slow, deep breaths, feeling secure, feeling safe to flow, to slow down perhaps, to just be present, feeling that safety, that security. As this new version of self is embodied more and more, and new realities, new experiences are presented to you. Grounding in, safe and centered. Deep breath in. Last long final exhale. Just giving you one final cleanse. Anything you release sent into the light of source to be transmuted through grace now. Disconnecting from this session, so be it and so it is. We give thanks. Ooh, thank you so much for being a part of this. Like I said, the December activation, if you have not yet listened to it, it's very much in alignment. This almost felt like a part 2 of that, which I did not realize or intend until I got to the channeling. So thank you for being here. All month long, all of my offerings are 33% off. And if you spend over a certain amount, 44% off. There is an offering that I feel is very much in alignment with this. I will link it specifically below. I know many of you have already gone through it, but this feels very much aligned. It was the complete 7 chakra upgrade. So I'm going to link to that specifically below if that resonates. I'm sending you so much love. Have a beautiful day, morning, evening, and I'll talk with you next time.